And good morning. Welcome to Today at the Races presented by Fidelity First. I'm Stan Salt along with my afternoon partner. He's going to join me for the early show this morning, Tim Tulloch. And, well, big weekend, and the nice weather is here. The beautiful weather. We have great horse racing, a bunch of stakes tomorrow, the Stronach 5 today, college basketball all weekend long up there in the sports book. Lots to look forward to this weekend.
And throw in a big carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6 today, over 15,000. So we've got a lot of action. It's all right here at Laurel Park, and we should get this thing started because we've got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, the big popular national wager, the Stronach 5, that's going to start once again right here at Laurel Park, race 9. It's a $100,000 guarantee, but forget about that. The last 2 weeks, they bet over $250,000 into this thing. It's an industry low 12% takeout. That means more money back in your pocket when you hit the Stronach 5. Last week, the Stronach 5 with a bunch of favorites, it still paid over $2,000 last week. The Stronach 5, the win parlay was around $900, and the Stronach 5 paid over $2,000 last Friday. Let's check out the lineup of races we have for you this week here for the Stronach 5. We're going to start about 5:07 Eastern time here, Laurel Park, race 9. Tim and I have that all covered for you. We have a couple of videos to show you for that race. We both have tickets for the Stronach 5. Leg B is going to be Gulfstream Park, race 9. Then we go out to Golden Gate Fields, race 5. Then back to Gulfstream for race 10. Then we wrap it up Golden Gate Fields, race 6. It's a tough sequence, and it starts tough right here at Laurel Park as you have 10 maiden claiming 40,000. I have an 8-1 well-bred first-time starter on top in that race.
Yeah, that's a deep race. This is a great race to get it started. A maiden 3-year-old filly for 40,000, maiden claiming, and I saw you went 5 or 6 deep on your ticket, and it's probably a good idea. I didn't go as deep, but go as deep as you can in there. We got some nice first-time starters. A couple horses making their second start of their career that I really, really like. So we'll see how it all shakes out later today, but get into it and get studying.
All right, so that's the Stronach 5. That starts race 9. Let's show you what we have going on in the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. There it is. That's going to start race 4, $15,318. That's a nice chunk of change. They'll put about $10,000 new money into it today. Tim, you have a ticket for that. We'll check that out when we get to race 4. What else? Tomorrow, let's show you what's going on tomorrow. A big monster super Saturday. The Champions Handicapping Tournament is tomorrow. That's over $33,000 in prizes. It's also a qualifying tournament for one of the big ones, the National Handicapping Championship, the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, and the big one. This is always very popular and well played. It's going to be right here at Laurel Park tomorrow in the sports book and in the sports bar, which is right next to the sports book. You can register online. It's filling up quick, but space still available. Go to laurelpark.com for details, and we're going to have a nice menu of races around the country that you can wager on, including right here at Laurel Park. Let's show you what we have for you as far as horse racing tomorrow here at Laurel Park. 5 stake races. The feature is going to be that $100,000 private term stakes. Top 3-year-olds of the East Coast in that race with the heavy favorite, Always Mining, looking for 5 in a row.
Yeah, once again, the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park gives us another super Saturday. These are big days, 11 race card, 5 stakes, Always Mining, as you mentioned, the private terms and some other good competitive stakes, plus all the basketball action you're going to want to watch in between the races in the best spaces anywhere that you can watch it.
All right, let's get right to it. I'll show you a picture of our main track. We have beautiful weather this morning. Yesterday it started to get nice. This morning it was very nice. It was like in the 60s early this morning out there. There's a picture of the main track. We'll be fast in the 60s, a little cloudy. First race post time is 1:10. Let's get right to it here. Race 1's going to kick off both. The Rolling Super High 5, that has a low 15% takeout, the Super High 5, and we have that every race with 7 or more horses, so keep your eye on that throughout the day. Sometimes you can catch a nice big carryover in that Rolling Super High 5. Race 1 also kicks off the popular early pick 5, which is a mandatory payout. And just like the late pick 5, an industry low 12% takeout, I have tickets for all the pick 5s today. Both pick 5s here at Laurel Park and the Stronach 5. We've been on a little bit of a roll. Let's see if we can keep it going here. Let's say here's my ticket for the early pick 5, $32 play, and you can check out all of our tickets, me and Tim's, on the laurelpark.com website underneath the handicapping section. Race 1's a wide open maiden 10. I go 4 deep with the 1, 4, 5, 7. Race 2, I just go 2 deep there with the 4 and the 5. The 4 Sacred Walk's going to be a popular favorite there, but you get Trevor McCarthy on the 5 Black Jacket there in race 2. McCarthy, he finished up Sunday winning the last 3 races, and he's rolling as our leading rider. Race 3, I go 2 deep there with the 2 and the 7. Race 4 is another wide open maiden 10,000. I go 4 deep there with the 1, 2, 5, 7. And then race 5 are one of our features of the day, a nice second level allowance condition. Filly and Mares 4 and up, going 6 furlongs. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5, and it also wraps up this early pick 5. And my best bet of the day is in race 5, the 2 Super Echo, for homebred for Live Oak stud and trainer Mike Trombetta. 3-1 morning line. Julian Pimentel will ride. We have a video spotlight to show you of Super Echo when we get to race 5. So there's my early pick 5 play. Let's take a look here. Tim, you know these maiden 10s, they've been wide open so far this meet.
They're absolutely wide open, but that's what makes them great races,
Yep.
and that's why they attract a lot of attention in handle every time we run them.
Yeah, big
they're,
handles.
they're big handles. They're competitive. You don't know what's going to happen. You can always find some value.
That's right. All right, so race 1, we're going 6 furlongs. Maiden claiming 10,000 straight 3-year-olds, and we both like the 7 on the outside. Top hat Voyager for trainer Wayne Potts. You get 5 pounds off with the apprentice Kymar Trotman. A decent effort last out, going 2 turns at this level, was second. I like the cut back now to 6 furlongs today. The horse should be dead fit. Trotman should get a nice trouble-free trip on the outside.
Well, Top Hat Voyager turns back to a distance of his life best race 2 starts ago when he ran 3rd in the maiden 10, getting beat a length, going 3/4 of a mile. But he had some other races on his form that were good, strong races going 3/4 of a mile. So he's back where he likes it. Great turn back. We love seeing horses come back from the mile and 16th, turning back to a shorter distance. Always seems to work well for them. So, yeah, I like Top Hat Voyager. Don't like him on top, but in my exacta.
All right, so we both like the 7. I didn't use your top pick at all. The 6, Threat Loves Midnight for trainer Todd Pletcher. 5-2, Vargas will ride. I took a pass on this horse coming off the layoff, taking a big drop in class. Well, not that big a drop in class.
Yeah, when you get down to it, not that big of a drop in class. A maiden state bred at 30
Right.
to the maiden
Bumps.
10 here. But his first start wasn't a bad race. By the numbers, fits right in here. Had trouble in his next start in January at Aqueduct. Didn't get away well, hit the gate, and was basically given up on early. But comes back in here with a series of good works for Todd Pletcher. And anytime Todd Pletcher sends a horse, you have got to give him respect, because some of those horses just are better because, and that's why I went with Threat Loves Midnight here for Todd Pletcher. All his numbers are huge, maiden claiming 31%. We know it.
Right.
We don't need to go over it. So I didn't want to throw him out, so I'm going to use them. Just might be better than the rest.
All right, I guess I'm feeling brave this week, and I go against Pletcher here in the opener on Friday. I go against Billy Mott with the favorite in the Harrison Johnson yesterday. I made Unbridled Juan my best bet in that race.
Yeah, I have Unbridled Juan on top in that race too.
All right, well, Pletcher, he'll be tough he's always tough, but I go against him here in race 1. Let's turn the page here. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. We're going a flat mile, claiming 12,500 for 4 and up, and scratch the plain 140 acres. The 1A Done Acting does run. I go with the 4 on top here. 7-5 morning line, Sacred Walk for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. Victor Carrasco will ride. I know he's been the beaten favorite the last 2 starts against Allowance Company, and when you drop from a first level allowance to an open 12-5 here, it's not a drop. It might be a step up in class. So he's going to have to do better today. He ran a big 88 buyer with the win against Starter Allowance Company back in December, then didn't like the mud against a tough group in January, and then that didn't break very well and just never got into the race last out in February. I'm hoping now he stretches back out to a mile, Claudio sprint around 24%. I'm hoping Sacred Walk can get back in good form.
Well, he's going to need to. His last two starts weren't very good, and we can give him an excuse for getting away poorly in his last start, but he's got a history of getting away not the best. He has 2 or 3 other races on his form where he does not get away the best. The one thing I've noticed about Claudio's horses, though, is when they start going the other way, they continue to go the other way, and this one's starting to go the other way over his last 2 starts. Now, you hope the drop is enough to get it done, but as you mentioned, this isn't a lot of drop. It might just be a lateral move. He's very capable. You know, Claudio. Victor Carrasco returned, so he's on my ticket. I was just a little concerned about using him on top.
All right, so we both like the 2, 4, 5 here. You have the 2 on top here. Primetime Man's trying to regain his top stride for trainer Kieran McGee.
Well, and there's a difference between Primetime Man and Sacred Walk. In his last race, Primetime Man made a positive effort, started to come back in the other direction, only getting beat 3 lengths. Now, I know he ran 5th behind 40 Acres, which was a big scratch in this race.
Right.
That horse looked like he could win, but his number was a good, solid number. I think he's starting to go back in the right direction. Gets Georgie Vargas for Kieran McGee. They hit it 26% and has a nice work since that last effort. I just think this one's trying to go in the right direction, has a nice draw, and I'll take Primetime Man 6-1 on the morning line.
All right, we both like the 5 here. Black Jacket. You get Trevor McCarthy, his horse, coming off a little freshening for Bernie Houghton. Been working up there at Penn National. He's getting a little class relief today. His last win was a nice allowance win last October at Penn National. Hasn't run that good since then. Maybe the freshening helps, and you have to take note that McCarthy ends up on this horse to 5.
Yeah, McCarthy ends up on this horse, and you do have to take note of that. And there's a few guys that come down here from Penn National and do well, and Bernie Houghton's one of them. One of those guys you can kind of rely on to send you a pretty decent horse. 4 starts back at Penn National. That was a big race, good enough to win. And numbers-wise, his last 3 starts, even though the results haven't been great, the numbers have been good enough to get the job done here. So tracks Trevor McCarthy, as you mentioned, and you have to give that a lot of consideration, considering he is our meet's leading rider.
All right, so we like this, some similar horses there in race 2. Let's turn the page here. Race 3, we're going a mile and a 16th, claiming 12,500, 3 and up. Never won 3 or straight 3-year-olds, and we both like a 7-2, 2-7 on top here. I have the 7 Broad Expanse on top. Second off the layoff here. Well, a little freshening. Was in good form off the claim. A good second and a win for Dorothy Wharton and Wasabi Ventures. That was back in September. Then they tried the turf. He ran okay on the turf, and then he kind of ran a couple clunkers. So they gave him some time off. They gave him January and half of February off, and he came back with a useful race last out against 16,003 Life, and that now he runs right back here in a month. Caramano stays aboard here. He only got beat a length and a quarter behind Whirlin' Curlin back in December, so maybe that race in the slop wasn't too bad. I think the 7 Broad Expanse sitting on a big effort today. He's my top pick.
Well, yeah, I don't think that race in the slop was a bad race at all. He only got beat a length and a quarter for the whole thing, then had a little break, comes back. That was a decent return race. He's at a level where he's been competitive in the past. Those other races on the turf and that starter on the main track, they're just simply too tough, but shows a work since that last race on February 5th. 15th, excuse me. You always like to see that Caramanos returns for Dorothy Wharton, and this one's eligible to get back to that previous form.
All right, you have the 2 Huana on top for trainer Marilyn McMullen. Rosario Montanez on this 4-year-old son of Malibu Moon. He's getting a little class relief today.
Getting a little class relief today. This is my price play of the day. As you mentioned, getting a little bit of class relief. Not dramatic, but a little bit. His race going a flat mile in his last start. A decent race, getting beat 3.5 lengths. His lifetime best race is going a mile 16th. Gets that good inside draw for Rosario Montanez and Marilyn McMullen. So I like Huana. I think we'll get a pretty decent price on this one, and he's back to a distance, which he likes.
All right, so we like a 2-7, 7-2 all day long. We both like the 3 as well. Dashing Lou for Gary Capuano. This horse lightly raced recently, but Gary's sneaky like this, and he had a nice comeback win at Charlestown back in December, and then needed another break. Didn't run very well last out, but is able to improve today. Second.
Yeah. Gary Capuano's sneaky good at this, and you don't throw out Dashing Lou. 2 big works since that last race, both going going 5/8 of a mile, 101 flat on the 22nd of February. That's a big work here at Laurel Park. And 20% when he takes a horse from a sprint to a route. Don't throw out Dashing Lou with Angel Cruz.
All right, let's get a quick commercial break. We have lots to get to. The pick 6 with that nice carryover starts race 4. You have a ticket for that. Late pick 5 starts in the 5th. I have a ticket for that. Then you like the late pick 4 in race 6. And, oh, yeah, the big Stronach 5 with that $100,000 guarantee. That starts right here at Laurel Park today, race 9. Both Tim and I have tickets. So should you. We'll check it all out right after this.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
Okay, welcome back. Nice carryover action today in our 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. It starts in race 4. There's the carryover, $15,318. This will be well played today. We'll start getting some big attention here on the Pick 6. It'll be well over $20,000 when it's all said and done. Tim, you have a ticket for the Pick 6. You gave out a winning Pick 6 ticket on Sunday to wrap up the weekend. Let's see if you can keep it going today.
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday.
Nice.
So I shouldn't have said anything because this ticket will blow that right out the door. But, however, 4 deep in the first leg of the Rainbow Pick 6, a maiden 10,000 using the 1, 2, 5, and 7. In race 5, I use 3 using the 1, 2, your top pick, and the 5, Miss Jack for Claudio Gonzalez. In the 6th race, I go 3 deep using the 3, 5, and 8. 7th race, the 1, 2, and 4. The 8th race, I single on my best bet of the day, Wendell Fong for Jeremiah Engelhart and Georgie Vargas, and I go 3 deep to close it out using the 2, 3, and 4. $64.80 ticket. Good luck if you play along in today's Rainbow Pick 6.
All right, starts right here in race 4, which also kicks off the middle pick 4. So lots of action here for this maiden claiming 10,000 straight 3-year-olds going 6 furlongs. My top pick here in race 4, the 7 on the outside, Equus Novus, getting a little drop here for trainer Michael Catalano, who had a nice year last year, 23%, and he gets Trevor McCarthy to take the call on this Maryland. That's why they're coming here. He's a Maryland bred. They want to get the owner bonus. He's by Super 99. A decent second 2 starts ago at Parks on a fast track. That was against Maiden claiming 20,000. That was the first start in the Catalana barn. He was second behind a next out winner. So that was a strong race. 41 buyer that day. Then he came back in a slop at Parks early March against Maiden 20. It was the beaten favorite that day. He's 0 for 2 in the slop. I think he's going to like a fast track better today. He's going to like the drop to the Maiden 10 today. He's going to like that outside post with that early speed today. And he's going to like having the leading rider, Trevor McCarthy, aboard. So I go with the 7, Equus Novus on top.
And it's amazing that he didn't handle the off-going. He's by Super 99, who's by Pulpit of a Fuziaki Pegasus mare. That has off-track written all over it, but he didn't. And he does get back to a fast track today. And he ran 2 consecutive good races at this lower maiden level at Turfway Park in January, and then the race you mentioned up there at Parks before he caught that off track. But good draw. You have to, again, tracks Trevor McCarthy. You've got to give that a lot of respect. I didn't quite use them. I'm always a little unsure. We've talked about this before. Unsure about these Parks numbers. Didn't really run particularly fast in either one of those races at Parks. 3/4 and 1:16, 7/8, 6.5, and 1:23. Not particularly fast. So it makes me a little nervous. Those Parks numbers. I think he's going to have to run faster, but he's set up for a good shot out of here.
All right, you have the 5 on top here. The 5 once more A, and we have a video on the 5, don't we?
Yeah, we do have a video.
Right, let's check out the video spotlight here.
Once more A. Grace LeBar returns. You see, he turns for home in front. Grace LeBar cuts the corner, and he just keeps on coming all the way through the lane. He really doesn't want to give up. He gets that big weight break again today, getting 10 pounds from the majority of the field. And Grace is getting a little run out of this horse at this point. This is a tired horse, and he keeps on going. That weight makes a big, big difference. and he keeps trying all the way to the wire. I think he can do that again under Grace, and as you see, he just gets beat in a really, really good try, running a lifetime best number, which actually is better than Equus Novus has ever run, just by a little bit, but still a little bit better. I think he can run back to that today under Grace LeBar for Robbie Bales and get the job done.
Yeah, he's getting 10 pounds off. So my top picks has to carry 123. You get 113. The nice lightweight assignment here on the 5. So we both like the 5. We both like the 2 as well here. New stones for Claudio Gonzalez. I wouldn't give up on this guy just yet. Claudio might have found the right group for new stones today. Adrian Flores will ride, and yeah, he should get a nice stalking trip from the inside and be right there to get a piece of it.
Well, he had a little trouble in his last start at the 3/16 pole, and sometimes when you run into a little bit of trouble, you're already tired. You get bumped around a little bit, and you just can't come up with that energy. If you've ever been in a road race or ran track and field, and sometimes it just takes it out of you, and that certainly could have happened with New Stones in his last start. 2 starts ago over sloppy track, another good race, but I agree, eligible to move forward under Adrian Flores. Gonzalez Flores 26% when they hook up together, and 2 good strong works, both half miles and 48 flat since that last start, puts New Stones right in the mix.
All right, we both like the 1 Perfect Air 3-1 morning line. Vargas on this jump start, 3-year-old for Hammy Smith. Yeah, he's run a couple okay races. He was only beaten a length and a quarter last out. Now, he doesn't have too much early speed. He's going to have to try to break sharp, and, well, he doesn't do it. He doesn't have much early speed, so Vargas probably going to be covered up in traffic early on, try to make a late run here with the 1 Perfect Air. I use him. I have him on my pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, I've got him in my exacta. He adds blinkers today, and that might be enough to give him enough speed. Now, I don't think he's going to be in front, but it might be enough to give him enough speed so he lays a little bit closer, so he's in a better spot. And Georgie Vargas, Maryland's leading rider from last year, I'm sure can figure out a trip if this horse has any run at all from the quarter pole home.
All right, so maiden 10,000 going 3/4 kicks off that Rainbow Pick 6 in race 4. Let's turn the page here. Race 5, one of our features of the day, and it starts the late pick 5. No carryover today in the late pick 5. They hit it last Sunday, but as always, that industry low 12% takeout on both your pick 5s here at Laurel Park. Let's check out my late pick 5 ticket. I'm going to single here in race 5, our allowance feature of the day, the 2 Super Echoes, my best bet of the day. We have a video spotlight to show you of that filly. Let's get to my ticket first, though. So I key on the 2 Super Echo in race 5. Race 6, I go with the 5 and the 7, the 5-0 with McCarthy, the 7 Nano's Shoes for Hammy Smith. In race 7, I go with the 2-5 there. McCarthy's on the 2. The 5 gets Ricardo Chappie at a decent price. The 2-5 there. And then race 8, I go with the 3-6-9 in race 8. That's a nice allowance race for 3-year-olds. The 9 is my price play of the day. Lord have mercy. That's 6-1 for trainer Mike Girales. So 3-6-9 there in race 8. And then you think race 9's a little wide open. It's a maiden claiming 40,000 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs, no scratches. We're going to have 10 3-year-old fillies line up. I go 6 deep there in race 9. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have the 6 Little Miss Jones on top in race 9. She's a full sister to multiple stakes winner John Jones, and you get Trevor McCarthy at 10-1 on the 2 Lucky 99 for Trombetta. So you get Claudio Gonzalez with the 5 Gracie Gabb at 15-1. So a bunch of big value horses there in race 9. I go deep in that race on my late pick 5 ticket here at Laurel, and I go 60. I use the same 6 fillies to kick off the Stronach 5. So we'll get to the Stronach 5 when we get there. Let's take a look here at the 5th race. Our feature of the day here, 6 furlongs, filly and mares, 2 other than, and we have a video spotlight to show you my top pick, my best bet of the day. Here's the 2 Super Echo right here at Laurel Park back in January against the same 2 other than allowance company. Was in front by a half length, turning for home there in the white, red, and black colors of Live Oak Stud. Majestic One's going to get up by a whisker in the final strides. So Super Echo just gets beat a whisker, but a hard-fought game effort, 75 buyer, and then went down to Tampa, was 3rd in a stake down there with first-time blinkers, I should add, and they ran a 77 buyer. So John Better has this filly in good form. She'll get a nice stalking trip on the inside with John Better's go-to jock, Julian Pimentel.
Well, I like Super Echo, and I have her on top also, but I'm not as confident as saying singling her on my ticket with the 5 Miss Jack. Her last start was a good race, but she hasn't won here at Laurel at all. In fact, the last time she won was a first-level allowance race at Penn National. She's going to have to run a little bit better today, but I do like her. I do like the fact that she has been working down at Tampa, had her last work May 9th right down there at Tampa, and she moves up. It's a little bit cooler here, probably not as cool as Mike Trombetta would have liked, because horses move up when they go from that hotter air to the cooler air, but I do like her. She's on the good foot. She is dropping out of a stake, so you have to consider that Julian Pimentel ride. So a lot to like. I just don't know if I'd throw all my eggs on the Super Echo basket.
The 5 Miss Jack's going to be a dangerous foe turning for home for Claudio Gonzalez. Victor Carrasco rides this 4-year-old filly by gemologist. I'm just hoping Super Echo can get the jump on her. Miss Jack, a stalker, a closing sprinter. She's a 3-time winner at Laurel Park, including her last race going 6 furlongs in the mud.
She's winner of her 4 of her last 6, and she's been in great form since last September. That last race right here in that starter handicap in the mud, those are tough heats. She got the job done. The race before, she's coming out of 3 straight, those starter handicaps, 3 straight races at that level, and they are tough heats. She basically drops back, or lateral move to this 2 other than, because in those starters, you got horses that have won through their 3 and 4 other thans in those particular races. So I think she's coming out of a really tough heats, running really good numbers for Claudio Gonzalez. A nice work right here on May 8th, 49 flat for the half mile. So I'm afraid of Miss Jack. I think at the end of the day, she is the horse to beat in this race, even though we both try to beat her.
All right, so let's just go with a cold 2-5 all day long there in race 5. We have to speed along to the Stronach 5. That's in race 9, but the late pick 4 starts in race 6. Tim, you have a ticket for it. Let's check it out, see how you played it.
Yeah, I played a little different than the Rainbow Pick 6. $18 ticket, 3 deep here using the 3, 5, and 8 in the 7. I go 2 deep using the 1, 2, 8th. I use the 3, 4, and in the 9th, I go 2, 3, 4, $18 ticket in the late pick 4. Good luck if you play along.
All right, let's check out race 6. We're going 7 furlongs, claiming 32,000 straight 3-year-old fillies, and I go with a 7 on top here in race 6. Nana's Shoes at 5-1 morning line for Hammy Smith, 3-year-old filly by Duntalkin. Victor Carrasco will ride. Nana's Shoes, a nice win last out against 25,000 company. I was going a mile and a 16th. Now we cut back to the 7 furlongs. She'll be dead fit in the final strides. I love that move. She's a 2-time winner at Laurel Park. No McCarthy today, but you get Victor Carrasco. He's been on the filly before. He's very capable. Victor and Hammy 25%. So I like the 7. Nana's Shoes on top at 5-1.
Yeah, 2 work since that last race, and the 7/8 of a mile certainly may work for her. She tends to get outrun a little bit. She did even get outrun going that mile and 16th, where she just got up in her sprint races. She got outrun going 3/4 and 5.5 and 3/4. So maybe if she can stay a little bit closer. I use her. I like her, but she's going to have to. She'll be coming late, and she's going to have to work out some sort of trip.
All right, so we both like the 7 and the 5. The 3, we also like the 3 Knockout Kid. Won this allowance condition 3 starts ago back in December, and ran a good 3rd in January. Didn't run very well last out late February. That was in the mud. She's 0 for 2 in the mud. She had to come 6 wide, so maybe give her an excuse for that day. She's capable of getting back in good form today for trainer Jerry Robb.
Well, toss out that race in the mud. She's been in good form since last fall. She stretches out to the 7/8 of a mile today, and that should work for her. By Tri-Tap, I have great notion. The stretch to 7/8 of a mile is well within her wheelhouse, and I like Knockout Kid today under Javion Toledo.
Okay, so yeah, I have the 7 on top. You have the 5 on top. I go 5, 7 in race 6 on my pick 5. Let's turn the page here. Race 7 real quick. Let's get through races 7 and 8. We have a lot to show you for the Stronach 5. Race 7, we're going 6 furlongs, claiming 12,500, 3 and up. Never won 2 lifetime. We both like the 1 and the 2. I have the 2 on top here. Jack Greer's Tub Hutch for trainer Ann Merriman, a 4-year-old Maryland bred. Broke his maiden last out with McCarthy. Had to break from the 1 hole in a 10-horse field. That's a tough assignment. It was only his second race back off a long layoff. He went right to the front and went all the way. He's well spotted today. McCarthy back aboard. McCarthy probably just going to try to get to the front right from the get-go here on my top pick, the 2, Jack Greer's Tub Hutch.
And a big number, and been in good form since coming off that layoff. Trevor McCarthy returns. Will have to get away well. Will have to get the lead first time against winners, but is well entered for his first time against winners.
Oh, you go with a nice 8-1 shot on top here, the one Frida Trump. For our main man, Claudio Gonzalez.
Well, he gets back to a fast track for the first time for Claudio Gonzalez. He was on a muddy track going around the ground in his last start. First time Claudio. Now he turns back to a sprint. Claudio hits 28% of the time. Grace LaBar getting some weight, getting 10 pounds from Jack Greer's Tub Hutch too. Again, that weight can come into play here today. But this horse has the races on his form against winners already that are good enough to get it done here, 8-1 on the morning line. So maybe we'll get a little price here on a Claudio Gonzalez horse.
All right,
which is hard to get.
All right, so we both like the 1, 2, 3, 5 there in race 7. Let's turn the page here. Race 8. Race 8's a nice allowance race to kick off the late daily double. It's a nice allowance race for straight 3-year-olds. Optional claiming $50,000. We're going 6 furlongs here in race 8, and I have the 9 on top. My price play of the day. This horse ran like gangbusters last out. His debut effort early February right here at Laurel Park. He's a big, good-looking homebred for Frank Bonzel Jr., a Maryland bred by Jumpstart, who's the leading sire here in the Mid-Atlantic area. Went off 41-1. Juralis, they kept this one hidden back there here at Laurel Park. He showed up with, he only had one work on the work tab, and, oh, man, they got the money. That'll make your yearly budget. You bet that one right at 41-1 with that 103 from the gate work, and he sharpened up with that night after the big win. He had a sharp 48-1 on March 3rd. So I think he's sitting on a big race once again. He's a closing sprinter. He came from the clouds in his debut. Let's see if he can get a fast setup up front and make a late run here. Your thoughts on the 9, Lord Have Mercy?
Well, look, it changes here. The whole scenario changes for Lord Have Mercy. He's already won the easiest race he's ever going to run in, and that was, man, I'm not going to take anything away from him. He ran a big number, and it was impressive, but he got fairly outrun. These horses that have run a few times, they're not going to back up as quickly as those horses that he caught and got the job done. But a good work sense for Mikey Juralis. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I passed on Lord Have Mercy today. Time will tell. We'll find out.
All right, the 3, Wendell Fong is going to be one of your favorites here in race 8. The blinkers come off today for this colt by Flat Out for trainer Jerry Engelhardt. An impressive debut win last December here at Laurel. He ran okay facing Stakes Company, going a mile and only his second start.
I thought he ran really well that day. He ran 4 lengths to Always Mining, who's a 4-5 favorite in tomorrow's private terms. And now he turns back to 3/4 mile, where he ran a good positive race, a 71 Beyer speed figure. He has a work March 8th, a half mile and 47 flat. I was there. I watched it. This horse looked absolutely fantastic. I think he's going to be very, very tough to beat here for Georgie Vargas and Jeremiah Engelhardt, who win 40% of the time that they hook up.
All right, so I go with the 9 on top. We both like the 3, Wendell Fong, going to be tough in race 8. All right, let's get right to it here. A few minutes left here. We have lots to show you for race 9. Now, this Stronach 5 is working. We're going to have a big handle on race 9 itself right here at Laurel Park. There's the guaranteed pool, a guaranteed pool of $100,000 for the Stronach 5, and each specific race in the sequence will have a big handle at that track. It's creating national attention on races that would otherwise not get as much attention. So it's really working. The handle's been big. They bet over $250,000 into it the last 2 weeks. It paid over $2,000 last week. I gave out a winning Stronach 5 ticket in 2 of the last 3 weeks. I was 4 out of 5 last week. See if we can get back on the winning path today. Let's check out the sequence. Going to start right here, Laurel Park, race 9, about 5:07. Then Gulfstream Park, race 9. Then Golden Gate, race 5. back down to Gulfstream race 10, then Golden Gate Fields race 6. Tim, you were on a roll here at Laurel Park last weekend with the pick 6. Let's see if you can keep that fire going with today's Stronach 5.
Yeah, and the other thing about the Stronach 5 is it's simply fun to play. It's a good time to play the Stronach 5, and I go 3 deep in leg A here at Laurel Park using the 2, the 3, and the 4, and the 4 Gold Cadillac is my top pick. 3 deep in leg B at Gulfstream Park using the 4, 5, and the 9 for Georgie Navarro. In leg C, I go 4 deep. This was a head scratcher here. I use the 6, 8, 9, and 10 Gulfstream Park leg D, 2, 5, and the 14, and I single in leg E on the 5, Mr. Diplomat for Blaine Wright and Mr. Martinez, a 23% win percentage, and Blaine Wright is just huge. 23% his horses win two times in a row, 19% off this layoff, 18% on synthetic. I'll single on the 5, Mr. Diplomat, to close out the Stronach 5. $108 ticket. Good luck if you play along.
All right, let's check out my ticket there. Good luck there, bud. You have to have a single here on the Stronach 5. I have 2 singles today. A $60 ticket. I think race 9 here at Laurel Park is loaded with live long shots. Maiden 40,000, 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs. You get Trevor McCarthy on the 2 at a big price. You get Claudio Gonzalez with the 5 at a big price. I used the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My top pick is the 6. Little Miss Jones, a younger full sister to multiple stakes winner John Jones. So I have the 6 on top for Ferris Allen and Nancy Lee Farms. You get Caramanos aboard. The favorite Bunting, the 3, she'll be tough. And the 4 Gold Cadillac you have to like. And the 1 River Sonata. So I go 6 deep to kick off my Stronach 5. My single is going to come race 9. All right, that's a 5-furlong turf sprint at Gulfstream, claiming 16,000. George Navarro's won 47 races down there. This championship meet at Gulfstream. He's hitting at 24%. I'm going to go with the 9, Dance Proudly, 9-5 morning line favorite. Jaramilla will ride. He's a 9-year-old. He's made over 400,000. He just won at this level last time. That was back in late December. Hasn't run since then, but been working well over there at Gulfstream Park West. Navarro, big numbers and everything. And my main man, Phil Janak, who's in town this weekend, said Navarro good with the turf sprinters, the closing turf sprinters. So I key on the 9, Dance Proudly there. Gulfstream Park, race 9. That's the second leg. And then Golden Gate Fields, race 5. That's leg C. That's a wide open maiden special weight going 2 turns on the Tapeta surface. I go 5 deep there with the 1, 6, 8, 10, 11. And then back down to Gulfstream Park for leg D. Gulfstream race 10 going 6 furlongs, maiden 12-5. I single on the 5. Starship Taxi, 3-1 morning line. Just got beat a whisker at this level last out. He'll be in front turning for home. Hopefully he can go all the way today. The 5 Starship Taxi, my single there in leg D. And then the final leg, Golden Gate Fields, leg E. Nice allowance race going 6 furlongs. The 5, your single, Tim. Yeah, that horse is going to be awfully tough. Mr. Diplomat, you have to use that horse. I don't blame you for leaving off that Hollendorfer guy. What does he know? I singled on him last week. Man, the horse was the favorite. It didn't even hit the board. I don't blame you for throwing out the 980 proof, but I go back to Hollendorfer. I used a 980 proof there as well. Hollendorfer favored at Golden Gate Field. So there's my ticket, a $60 ticket. You can study all of our tickets on the laurelpark.com website underneath the handicapping section. Let's take a look here at Laurel Park, race 9 to kick off this Stronach 5. Maiden 40. 3-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs. Let's start with I have the 6 on top. You have the 4 on top. Let's start with the morning line favorite here in race 9. The 3 Bunting, who we both like. Victor Carrasco rides for Rodney Jenkins. Now the 3 Bunting and the 1 River Sonata coming out of the same race, February 24th, right here at Laurel Park. We have that video for you. Here it is. It was on a muddy sealed track that day, and Bunting was second turning for home. And you see the comment line, a game second for Bunting. River Sonata, who had to break from the one hole that day, navigated ahead, didn't break very well, then came wide. You saw that at the top of the lane, River Sonata was wide, but got up for a good third, only beating a length and a quarter at 22-1 for trainer Mark Reed, who's been winning some races around here in Maryland this past year. So you have to respect, I think, the one River Sonata, but the 3 Bunting looked awfully good there. Just got beat ahead against Maiden 50,000. She's a 3-year-old filly by Bandbox, who trainer Rodney Jenkins, who trains Bunting. Jenkins trained Bandbox, won the Grade 2 General George. Victor Carrasco back aboard this Hillwood stable homebred here. Let's start with the 3 Bunting. We both used the horse, but we don't pick her on top. We pick her second. She doesn't have any early speed, so she's been a beaten favorite twice, but she hasn't done anything wrong. She'll be right. She'll be right there.
Yeah, she simply hasn't done anything wrong, and she gets the key thing. She gets back to a fast track today,
right.
And in her first start of her career, she ran a pretty nice race, and she didn't show speed, but she didn't get that far out run. She was only a neck off the lead early, and never farther than 2 lengths off the lead all the way around there. So she gets back to a fast track today. It takes a little bit of a drop in class, I guess you can say, from her last start, a work sense, but she's certainly done nothing wrong and is going to be trying all the way down there. Bunting. As far as River Sonata, I just, the one hole just scares me for her.
Yeah.
She gets outrun, and her numbers just haven't been as strong as some of these others that have run.
And she doesn't break well.
She doesn't break well.
And 2 of her 3 starts, she's hasn't broke well, and now she has a tough rail assignment today. So, well, let's check out your top pick here, the 4 Gold Cadillac. I like the 4 for trainer Mike Trombetta, the 3-year-old filly by Seville. Here's the video of her debut, February 21st.
Well, here she is. She's way back there, as you can see. She's laying 6th right now, and she just does not have a clue to what she's doing. She's taking the worst of it back there. That mud's coming back hard. She gets real green in the stretch, but she keeps trying. I think the experience of this race, getting onto a fast track for the first time, the fact that Julian Pimentel steps her up from the maiden 25 to this maiden 40, and as you see, when she gets down into some clean air, stops messing around and starts going straight, she gets a little belly low and keeps on trying down in there. So I think this one moves forward, a work since that last race for Trombetta. Julian Pimentel rides Gold Cadillac, and Mike Trombetta has 2 horses in this race, and Julian Pimentel rode both of them. He stays on this one, Gold Cadillac. I'll take Gold Cadillac in Laurel Park's finale.
Yeah, I like him. I'll take her at 6-1. She's by Seville. Seville, the sire of Las Citas, who's one of the favorites in the Beyond the Wire stakes tomorrow for Katie Voss. So sure, I like the 4 Gold Cadillac a lot, but I'm going to go with the first-time starter on top here in this race is 6 Little Miss Jones, a 3-year-old daughter of Smarty Jones, another homebred, another well-bred homebred here for my man, Mr. Frankel of Nancy Lee Farms. She's out of the Polish numbers mare, Krusicki, who Ferris Allen trained, made a bunch of money with her. She was a stakes winner in this filly. Yes, she's the younger full sister to John Jones, who's a multiple stakes winner. He's in the Harrison Johnson tomorrow. He's made a bunch of money. So high expectations for this filly. I like the work tab, some decent works. You see some 5 furlong works, some gate works. That's all covered. Karamanos will ride, and she gets a decent post breaking from the 6 hole.
Yeah, there's no question that she's she's cut out to probably be a pretty nice horse. Her works have been pretty good, a couple of good half-mile works. So what stood out to me with Little Miss Jones are her 5/8 mile works, 103 and change, 104. That's not going to get it done. She's going to have to go faster over 3/4 of a mile than that. I'm not sure if it's there for Ferris Allen and Horatio Karamanos, but she's cut out to be a nice horse, and sometimes those types surprise you, even though the work tab might be a little soft.
All right, so we've covered the 3, 4, and the 6. The 2 who you like, I'll take the 2 for sure. I have the 2 on them both. My late pick 5 and Stronic 5 is a homebred for Country Life Farm by Super 99 for trainer Mike Trombetta, the debut. Had to break from the 2 hole in a 9-horse field, so she gets an excuse right there. Now, she didn't break well, no surprise. But then she flashed a little speed, and then it was all just too much, and she said, the heck with it. Now she gets another inside post today, but she gets Trevor McCarthy. She has a sharp work since that debut, and Trombetta 18% with maidens in their second start with a positive ROI.
Oh, sure. I mean, all's we know is if she gets away better, we don't know what we don't know.
Right.
And the break is going to be important for her today. She gets Trevor McCarthy. Again, we'll say it again. That's never a bad thing. So I think she is eligible to move forward, just because Mike Trombetta's horses run well second time, making their second lifetime start. Just a good break puts this one back in the driver's seat a little bit. And I like her a little bit. She's on my ticket. She's on your ticket. But a better break, and then we'll see what we get. But I like Lucky 99 today.
All right, so a big 10-horse field in race 9 to kick off that popular national wager, the Stronach 5. They bet over $250,000 into it the last 2 weeks. Last week it paid over $2,000. 2 weeks ago it paid almost $4,400. 3 weeks ago it paid almost $11,000. Tim has a ticket. I have a ticket. We're going to try to give you some winners today for the Stronach 5. Check out those tickets on the laurelpark.com website underneath the handicapping section. That's it. We're way out of time here. We'll see you in a few minutes for race 1. Dave Rodman coming up next with today's scratches and changes. Good luck.